thinking about somebody in my head, you know. Guardo, you keep messing up, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If I could save time in a bottle, first thing that I'd like to do is stuff you in it and then punch you in the face and throw you in the ocean too. Hey! Yeah, there, got a little bit of both. Anyway, just messing around. This one is for the August 27th fight between Marcos Rene Maidana and, Robert Guerrero. You ready for this, man? Oh, Chino versus the Ghost. It's going to be kind of exciting, you know. It's for the WBA light welterweight title. Seems like WBA's getting all their titles really close because, you know, Vyacheslav Sinchenko, you know, has got his title fight on 26th, I think, right? Did I just do that video? Anyway, going into this fight, I'll break both fighters down, and then I will give my prediction at the end. And I'll start off with Marcos Maidana, who is 30-2 with 27 knockouts. And just throw this out there, his last 3 fights have all went the distance. Okay? So, his last 3 fights have all went the distance. We all kind of thought maybe he might have lost against Morales. He thoroughly got outboxed by Khan. And he couldn't knock out Khan. And, you know, just saying. You know, he hurt Khan. I'll give you that much. You know, he could reach him and stuff like that, even with his speed. He was still able to get to him. Now he's going in against Guerrero, who suddenly became the number 3 light welterweight in the world. And this is really only his first, like, official fight. I guess the Casamayor fight might have been considered light welterweight, but, you know, this is really, I mean, his last fight was Katsidis, and that was at 135 for the lightweight title. So let's go in there. As I said about him, he struggles with very good boxers. When you start looking at Maidana, you know, he doesn't seem to have a B plan in there. It's pretty much he comes forward, he takes 2 punches to give 1, he goes in there, pounds the jab, pounds the body, and, you know, he gets wide with his power shots. You know, the right hand comes in wide, the hook comes in wide. You know, he's very open to counters, he's very open to straight shots. And he doesn't do well with really good boxers. I don't know if I said that already, but his last 3 fights, you know, or last 2 fights at least, haven't really went his way. If you look at that, he can be a bit dirty. If you look at the Corley fight, if you look at the Khan fight, you know, he does tend to get in there and rough house a bit and stuff, and, you know, not unlike Katsidis did with the low blows and all that stuff in the last fight there. Drops his hand when throwing when he loads up. So when you see that, he's not fast, but even if you block his shots, you're still going to feel him, because the guy throws with nothing but bad intentions in there. Maybe he's a really nice guy. Maybe he'll shake your hand and buy you a drink when you see him outside the ring. But inside the ring, you're not his friend. He doesn't like you. You're in trouble. You know, when it comes to that, he's kind of like the Terminator. You know, you get him down, and you think everything's cool and stuff, and you look back, and even though he's missing a leg, he's still gaining ground on you. You know what I mean? You know, he just doesn't stop. He keeps coming. You punch him in the face. You know, Ortiz dropped him like 4,300 times, and dude kept coming up and kept getting him, and finally Ortiz like, Bert, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm going home, bro. I'm done. His face, you know, he's like cottage cheese, and he's still getting up. Anyway, going over to, I mean, you're going to have to be willing to war and go to hell and back in order to beat this man. You know, that's all I'm saying. And going over to Robert Guerrero, who is 29-1-1 now, and you know, he's got 18 knockouts, so it's not like he can't bang. But you get kind of worried about that if, you know, you're the bigger dude in the lighter weights and you're not knocking dudes out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the Paul Williams thing. Second he gets up into his weight class, he's not knocking dudes out anymore. You know, he really should be fighting like light middleweight, but he's not. I'm getting carried away and going on a different tangent. But he's got good wins over Katsidis and Escobedo and Casamayor. You know, and he knocked out Jason Litzau. But all those are smaller dudes. You know, all in the smaller classes. We're talking super featherweight and lightweight. So when you're talking about fighting, getting up and moving up to actual guys that are your size, you've got to wonder two things. Is he going to be able to take the power of the bigger guys? Is he going to be able to withstand there? Because when he goes to war, because he's what I like to call a very aggressive boxer. He will take the fight to you, and he is willing to war, but yet he has the skill and ability to you know, trade power shots with you, but he's boxing while he's doing it. It's really hard thing to do, but he can do it. He can keep the fight in the middle of the ring as opposed to letting a pressure fighter put him on the ropes. He can still box in there. Not like Mayweather fights, not the slip and move. This guy is in there and he's banging with you, and he can get hit flush. So you have to wonder about that. The second thing is the added weight that he's going to put on. Will that affect his speed and his stamina? Maybe it's three things, but I think it's all kind of rolled into one when you, those two are rolled into one when you think about the speed and the stamina are all kind of the same thing with putting the weight on. So those are some things that we need to watch out for if he can carry it. You know, he really, like I said, he's really like a lightweight. He does have a bigger frame, but he is 5'8", so he is a little smaller height-wise than Maidana is. The reach is the same, but the height is a little different. Now, he did very well with Katsidis, who is kind of like a good opponent for him to fight since he's going to fight Maidana. Katsidis comes forward. He's very, very aggressive. He can take a vicious beating, and you know, their styles are actually kind of similar. You know, Katsidis can get a little dirty in there too with the low blows and stuff like that. He is a southpaw. He has good speed. He has good speed. Very quick with the counters, very quick with the straight lefts. The thing is, though, is he throws combos, he throws 1-2s, he throws the jabs, all that, and very, very rarely does he ever throw just one punch. So he's very active in there. And as I said, being an aggressive boxer, he's very active, lands at a very high rate. You know, he's very accurate with his punches when you see him going in there. He has the, you got to question the chin. He was dropped by Katsidis. Granted, they didn't call it a knockdown, but when you get caught by a shot, you fall backwards. Even if another one glances off you and your glove touches the ground, you did get, you know, it didn't really matter because he pretty much whitewashed Katsidis anyway, but he could have easily lost that. Lost some points. He would still won. And as I said, he took the pressure away from Katsidis, you know, by keeping in the middle of the ring and fighting the way he did. He's so active, and with the way he lands his punches, and then he can move and get out of the way and still land his punches, that it's going to pose a real problem for Maidana in there when you see this happening. He took the pressure away. As I said, he is the younger, fresher fighter, I believe, than Maidana. He is uppercuts, combos, all that stuff, you know, all work in his favor. And when you look at this, I don't see Maidana as at his peak anymore. You know, maybe that sounds weird, but I don't see him at the, like he was there, and now he's just going over the edge just a little bit. Like Ortiz was his peak, if you want to see it that way. For his fight style and stuff like that, those kind of fighters don't last. They don't last years and years. They don't have like a very, very long career. They tend to have short lives too because the Dane brand just kicks in. So when you look at it, I see this as a unanimous decision for Guerrero. I can't believe I'm saying it's a smaller fighter, he's going to be a bigger fighter, but I'm going to go with that. I believe his style, the way he fights, he's a better Morales than Morales was when Morales fought Maidana. Not better than Morales in his prime. I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. I know some of you out there, maybe Steve Zuzza, some of you guys might try to get me on that one, you know, but I didn't say it, you know. So that's what I'm thinking, you know. I think that's going to be Guerrero will win this one by unanimous decision. Okay? And heck, maybe this is when his chin fails him. Maidana's chin fails him, and he even gets stopped in the very late rounds. Who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe it's possible. I'm not saying I wouldn't put a $5 down on it. Just saying. But okay, there you go, all right? Please comment, rate, subscribe. Be my friend. Be Eduardo's friend. And, yeah, we'll keep this going, all right? If I could see time in a mile.